What is up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Fantasy Tomorrow. Today we're going to be talking about some players to avoid in your snake drafts. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. My first player for you to avoid this year in snake drafts is Patrick Mahomes of the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, this is nothing against Patrick Mahomes. He's one of my favorite players in the NFL. But really, it's more of an overarching principle to abide by in snake drafts. In one quarterback leagues, don't draft a quarterback before the fourth round. The way that scoring is set up in most standard or PPR leagues makes it a terrible value to spend a high draft pick on a quarterback because quarterback is the most stable position in fantasy football and has the least amount of variation between the top quarterbacks and the mid-level quarterbacks that you can get in later rounds. So while Mahomes is going to go before the fourth round in most drafts, it is worthwhile to wait and grab a quarterback somewhere between rounds 6 and 10. Now, my second player to avoid in your drafts is Najee Harris of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Harris is currently going as high as the 12th player off the board, making him a first-round pick in 12-team leagues. And this is just extremely risky for a player who is getting dropped into what was one of the most lethargic offenses in the NFL towards the end of last season. Now, while Harris is extremely talented, running backs rarely are able to overcome their surroundings. So trusting Harris to produce as a low-end running back one, despite an aging quarterback and bad offensive line, is just too high of a risk that early in your draft. Now, my third player that I think you should avoid in your drafts is Kyle Pitts of the Atlanta Falcons. Now, the hype for Pitts has continued to grow ever since he was drafted by the Falcons, but that has seen his draft price really soar up into the top 50 players. But remember that it is extremely rare for tight ends to make an immediate impact in their rookie seasons. While Pitts is an incredible talent who is poised to have a stellar career, it is risky to assume that Pitts will come in and immediately produce as a top 5 tight end. Now, my fourth player that I think you should avoid in your drafts is James Robinson of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, Robinson is commonly going in the 5th round of drafts and is going above players such as Cooper Kupp and Mike Davis. Drafting Robinson at that price is a terrible value due to the unknown surrounding the Jaguars. It is reasonable to predict that rookie Travis Etienne is going to severely limit Robinson's touches this season, who saw about 96% of the carries in games that he started last season. That means Robinson is likely going to see extreme regression and make him too risky of a player to acquire at his current draft price. Now, my fifth player that I think you should avoid in your drafts this year is Laviska Shenault, also of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, I've seen Shenault go as early as the 7th round in some drafts, and while some say that Shenault has the qualities of a player who could take a leap in year 2, it's also easy to see Shenault not returning any consistent value at that high price. There are 2 other proven receivers on the Jaguars in DJ Chark and Marvin Jones, who are going to take away plenty of targets. And there's also those 2 running backs who are going to command touches. All of this is going to be in an offense that's being commanded by a rookie quarterback. I know it's Trevor Lawrence, but he's still a rookie quarterback who's going to have to adjust to the NFL, and a first-time NFL head coach. The cards really just seem to be stacked against a Shenault breakout this season. Alright guys, so here are my top 5 players that I think you should avoid in your drafts this year. Because really, drafting any of these guys around their ADP seems just to be a huge risk that could really sink your team before you even have a chance to leave the harbor. Guys, please subscribe for more league-winning fantasy advice, and drop us a like and a comment too, and we can try to interact with you guys, answer any questions that you have, especially if you go and follow us over on Twitter and on Facebook. We can really interact and answer any questions that you have, so please go and follow us over there. But guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.